Oh, she actually says something.
What the fuck?
Yeah, I don't know. Welcome everybody to a short edition of the Transfer Cast. We had been planning to talk about games, but then I went on Twitch and did that for about an hour and a half last night. So we're just gonna do our Q&A and maybe do a little bit more about games later. But for now, we got 15 questions to get through, and we just kind of want to get through a lot of them so we can move on and get prepared for the next thing. That's an incomplete pass. I'm also watching football while Ian plays Pokemon Legends Arceus, so we won't be distracted at all as we do this. All right, Ian, are you ready for some questions?
Generally never, but
Perfect. All right. First question, never mind, this is from last week. Why is Piplup a little bitch asking for a friend? That's still from last week. We already know the answer. He is a little bitch. Why, oh why is this taking so long to load? There we go. All right. Question number 2 from Edwin. Ian, we know you love eating at Hardee's. What's your favorite meal to order? Mine is always a switch between the double Western bacon cheeseburger, the Monster Angus stick burger, and the Why is Piplup ass burger.
yeah, that's not at all ridiculous.
Serious question though, what is your go-to at Hardee's?
It's the Monster Burger.
The Monster Burger. Anyone that knows me knows it's chicken tenders because that's what I get from pretty much everywhere. So
that's literally the only thing you order from there.
This one's from Jason. It just says Donna check PM. So move on to the next one here. This one it says is from Kevin. What are your top 3 favorite fried chicken places in order? That's a good one. We've actually had this discussion offline because it's really debatable on how you define fried chicken. And like, do you count Chick-fil-A as fried chicken? Because Chick-fil-A feels more like, it doesn't feel like a traditional fried chicken like a KFC or a Popeyes type restaurant. But yeah, do you have an answer for your 3?
Not really. I don't really think about it. Like I just go, I guess, and eat fried chicken. Like it's everywhere technically. So hypothetically, anything that's fried and of the chicken variety, I don't really have a go-to though. Like I used to like KFC. They kind of suck now, but I'll still eat them at times.
Yeah.
Royal Farms is okay, but I want to put it at like the top. But like, you know, it's just convenient, so that's something. I can't really think of like Popeyes is pretty decent. Their sandwiches are pretty good. But I don't really have like, I guess a top place yet. I like Friendly Farms, which is not many people here because it's like a one place out in the middle of nowhere. It's literally on a farm, but they have very delicious fried chicken. I don't know what the hell batter they use, but it's very delicious. So that's probably my favorite, but like it's in the middle of nowhere, so not many people have ever heard of Friendly Farms. They also have one of the best crab cakes. So like probably one of my favorite places in the middle of nowhere. So I guess that's an answer. I don't really have
that works because I've been trying to think as we were talking. I totally agree with you on the KFC thing. Like when I was a kid, KFC hands down was probably my favorite. But the last, I don't know, 5-10 years, it's just not been nearly as good. Popeyes to me is hit or miss. It kind of depends on the Popeyes you go to. Like for instance, the one up here is rarely any good, but if I go to the one down like around Cockeysville, a lot of times that ends up being pretty decent. So as far as my go-tos, I don't really count Chick-fil-A as fried chicken, but that's definitely my top chicken restaurant.
I mean, technically, fried and it's chicken. So
Yeah.
hypothetically, it is fried chicken.
I do like Cane's, even though we don't have that around here. I really love this is a local place down in Arkansas, AQ Chicken, which is some of the best fried chicken, even to this day. The only problem is I think they used to have multiple locations, but I think they're just down to one now, which is kind of sad. But it's one of the all-time favorites. It was Bill Clinton's favorite place to show up when he was president, which was always a mess because they would just shut down the highway around it because the president wanted fried chicken at like 3 a.m. So they'd open up just to fix it. So AQ was always good. And then you also had, let's see. You mentioned Royal Farms. I think Royal Farms is good. I think it's better when you're not from around this part because, it's really just a Maryland, PA, like upper East Coast place. So a lot of people outside of here don't know about it. But once you get here and you've tried it a few times, it's pretty good. So yeah, I would guess those would probably be mine. I think AQ is still my favorite. And probably Royal Farms, and I'd throw Chick-fil-A in there if we're counting that. But if we don't count Chick-fil-A, then I would probably say probably KFC if it's good. But yeah, it's
1990s KFC.
1990s KFC. Yes.
You specifically have to travel back to the 90s to eat it.
Exactly. Can I please get a time machine to go back to 1990s KFC and early 2000s Burger King chicken nuggets? I would just live on all that. All right. This one is do what?
Just go back to the 90s. It's a simpler time.
It was way simpler. This one is from Brian from Alaska. The question says, if you could have any actor, dead or alive, portray you in a movie about your life, who would it be?
An actor to portray.
Yep. To portray you. Somebody besides Ken Jeong.
He's not an actor, but
I mean, he is an actor. He's a comedian and an actor.
He's not, but we go with.
He's been in multiple movies. That makes him an actor.
No.
Yeah. Mine's easy, but I'll let you go ahead.
I don't know. I really don't. I don't fit the stereotypical Asian, so I probably wouldn't be Asian.
I was gonna say, what about Ned from Spider-Man?
No, he's kind of wimpy.
I mean,
you think I'm wimpy?
You do like Pip Up, so.
Hey, Pip Up is the greatest. It builds character. I would probably say I'd probably be a Jonah Hill character.
Jonah Hill. I can see that for you. I used to always tell people that for me it would be Samuel L. Jackson, even though we don't really look or sound anything alike. We just have similar vocabulary. But for me, honestly, if I'm picking dead actors as well, I'd probably go Chris Farley for me. Gonna have the big guy who's just insane. So, all right. Next question we have here just says Blade is the person. You're on a basketball team. You're down by 1 with less than 10 seconds left. You pass the ball to take the last shot to LeBron in 2013, Kobe in 2010, or Michael Jordan in Space Jam.
So I don't know much about basketball. I don't pay attention to it. I'm not a fan of basketball. So I know that all three of them are considered the GOATs of basketball. But in terms of who was better, I don't know. I guess I'll just go on Michael Jordan,
Well, Space Jam, Michael Jordan did hit a game-winning shot from half court by stretching his arm the length of the court. So, I mean, that kind of power is kind of hard to beat. Realistically, I probably go with MJ anyway, but Space Jam Michael is a tough one to top. All right, this one is from Derek. It says, what is your most anticipated video game release this year? I think we both answered this, but I'll let you go first because I know what yours is already.
I mean, I don't think there's anything different currently because this year is just this year and not next year. So literally Scarlet and Violet are literally the only thing that I actually have planned on actually buying. So it'd be weird if that wasn't the game. It's like, look, I'm not going to get the game that I'm really looking forward to getting.
Well, here's a follow-up to that though, since the other one technically came out this year. Are you more excited for Scarlet and Violet, or were you more excited for Arceus when it was coming out?
To be fair, I think that the concept of Scarlet and Violet are huge. I am very excited about what the gameplay could be, but we haven't seen gameplay. That's my problem with it, is that we haven't really seen gameplay. But the implications that it could be multiplayer, it's open world, the map is gigantic. I think I'm more excited about that than Arceus. Now, obviously with Arceus, it was a cool game. It was the first for Pokemon, and it led to basically this. So I mean, it's still, I would say, a really good. It was exciting, but I think Scarlet and Violet. I mean, the game, the designs kind of suck for Scarlet and Violet. I'm not a huge fan of the Pokemon, but it's not about the Pokemon at that point. So, I'm probably more excited for Scarlet and Violet than I was for Arceus, because Arceus, it's cool. I'm playing it right now, but it's not going to be probably as innovative as Scarlet and Violet hopefully is, I should say, because we know that games can kind of suck sometimes. So hopefully.
Well, if we're talking this year, all my Yakuza games don't come out till next year at the earliest. So probably God of War for me, because it just looks really freaking cool. I'll definitely play Scarlet and Violet when that comes out. I don't really know anything else that's coming out this year. Like, it feels like it's going to be a dry holiday season. Because really, outside of those two games, I don't know of any like major games that have been announced that are coming out before next year. Even like for an audience that you and I wouldn't be a part of, I can't even think of anything game wise. So we'll see, I guess, but hopefully kind of answers that question. This one from says, Patrick, would you rather attend Game 7 of the WNBA Finals or a U.S. friendly soccer match? Me personally, I'd probably rather hang myself than go to either one of those.
I don't generally go to them. Not that I guess wouldn't. Well, maybe I wouldn't because I don't. But I don't know. If you gave me a free ticket, I'd probably go to either one.
Yeah, I mean, Game 7 of the WNBA Finals, I guess, would have more of an implication at least. So I had actually wanted to go to a soccer game down at Audi Field down in DC. The only problem is it's in the same part of town that the Nationals Park is, so I don't really feel like getting shot to go to a soccer game. But
you almost get shot going to a baseball game. So
that's true. I mean, I do that even in Baltimore. But yeah, I mean, honestly, I'd probably go to a soccer game. I know the FIFA is in the US next round in, I think, 2026. And I know there's going to be games hosted in Philly that I was thinking of going to, at least one, just to kind of mark that off my bucket list of big time sporting events that I've been to. because I think that'd be pretty cool. But that's also because fucking Baltimore lost out on it and it's not even Baltimore's fault. It's DC's fault that Baltimore lost out on it because DC wanted to host and their stadium is so goddamn shitty that they begged Baltimore to let them go in on a dual bid. And for some reason, Baltimore was like, okay, sure. And it took Baltimore's bid, which probably would have gotten a host spot, down because they let DC co-bid with them. And so they didn't end up getting the host. Because they're like, the only way we'll let, essentially they're like, we'll let you host the M&T Bank Stadium, but we also have to play a game at the shitty Redskins or football team or whatever stadium. And they're like, yeah, no, that's not happening. So really sucks. But moving on, this one it says Terry. This one's probably more for me. It says, what if Halo never existed? Where would Xbox be today? And would it still have its successor systems? That's a good question, I think. If Halo, well, weirdly enough, and I don't even know if you know this, Ian, but Halo was originally made for the Mac. It was first announced at one of the like Apple events back in like 99 or 2000. And Steve Jobs was even part of that. Like they made a big deal about being one of the first big FPS games exclusively for Mac systems. And somewhere along the way, development kind of fell apart. And then they were like, well, we're going to completely switch things. And then other stuff happened. And then finally, Microsoft just bought the studio. And then they're like, hey, do you guys have anything you want to develop? So they showed them Halo. And Microsoft was like, all right, cool, let's go ahead and try it. And obviously it ended up becoming Microsoft's version of Mario, or Sony's version of like Crash or Tomb Raider or one of those. So it was definitely a fire starter to keep Microsoft in the game. Had it not been for Halo, honestly, I don't think we would have seen as much success from Microsoft. I'm pretty sure we probably still would have gotten the 360 because they were pretty hell bent on releasing at least 2 or 3 systems. But without Halo, I don't know if they would have gotten a lot of the licenses and exclusives that they did. So that probably saved them in the game market. This one, do you like peanut butter? I do. Do you?
I do. I like crunchy peanut butter. I mean, I'll eat regular peanut butter too. I like it on toast. I like it on celery. I like it. Yeah, I mean, I don't see a reason why not to like it.
I prefer creamy. All right. This one is from James. It says, this is for Warm. How heavy is the bowling ball you use when you go bowling?
To be fair, I don't know if I've ever weighted. I'd probably say standard.
So generally, if you're at an alley, if you don't count like the kids' balls, you're between like 8 and 16. And usually the average is like a 12.
I think the average is around, yeah. I think I know when I went to there, I think it was like one size for everybody. Because when they let us get the bowling ball, basically it was just like, yeah, we'll give you enough money to get the bowling ball, so you don't have to pay that much. Like I still think we paid a little bit for our bowling balls, but like they covered a lot of it. But in order for them to cover it, there was more of like, hey, we're only going to cover this much. This is the type of ball you'll get. So I didn't even get blue. I got green because they didn't have blue. So I mean, I haven't used it in a while. The last few times I went to a bowling alley was with my niece and nephews, and so we played duck pin. And I'm horrible at duck pin. I have literally, even with the bumpers up, I don't have any, like, I just chuck the ball down there. Like I have no like skill with that. So I'm so used to 10 pin. So it's just weird. But my niece beat me the last game we played.
Your niece, who is how old, by the way?
My niece is 7 years old. My nephew, which is 6 years old, he lost, and then the 2-year-old, about to turn 3, beat me with his little dragon ramp, and then my mom, of course, destroyed everybody. She's really good at the duck pin. I don't understand how people have accuracy. Every time I throw the ball down there, it always seems to go to the left. I stood all the way to the right, threw it to the right, and it still went all the way to the left. I was like, all right, look, I understand this is not the switch bowling, but somehow.
Look, I could bowl perfect games on the Wii bowling. In real bowling, I'm lucky to get like more than 40 or 50 for the whole game.
With 10 pin, I average about 100. But when Brian and I went to like a long time ago, Brian and I went to the bowling alley ironically near where I used to live over in Joppa, or actually now too. It's right on 40 and near Middle River, and we bowled about 10 games, and I think I averaged 160 that game. Those games, like we bowled, I almost got 200. I think I even got 200. Brian and I were very competitive. I won most of them, but we were very competitive at that time, and I don't remember what caused us to be so competitive because I have not bowled anywhere close to that.
I also know when you've been drinking, you get better for some reason.
I do better drinking, especially with beer pong.
I was gonna say definitely with beer pong, but even bowling, I've seen you get better after you've been drinking. Louder too, but also better.
Definitely louder. But yeah, I guess like I can't. There's a certain cutoff when drinking that I will just instantly go from being great to being worse than anybody in the world. That's the point in the where you have to know, like when I was in college, my friend Bill knew my cutoff points, but also knew, he's like, look, Ian, we're about to play a game. I need you to drink these beers. And he'd hand me he's like, all right, I need you to get to this point. And we'd run the tables. We were the greatest. We used that Lonely Island song, Who Said We're Whack, as our theme song.
All right. Well, moving on, we have this one from Queen Elizabeth. Princess Diana is wilding over here. That's the comment. Next one, just doesn't have a name. This kind of follows up on the game discussion that we were going to have. With the announcement of the GoldenEye coming back on the Switch and Game Pass, what are some other classic N64 games you'd like to see come back?
I think so far they've gotten majority of the games. Because like to me, I think one of the things I was looking at was like, of course, my favorite game of all time is Ocarina of Time for in the N64. The one thing I really wish they would do is remaster it for the Switch. Not give me the N64 version of it because, give me that, but give me the graphics that you could put on the Switch. We've seen people make it out of the real engines on like that look phenomenal.
Right.
Nintendo's just like, nah.
We don't have time for that.
Yeah, like with the Mario,
or they'll do like the Mario 64 remaster, where it's basically the exact same with slightly better graphics. Yeah.
It was like when I looked at that and I was like, and I bought that game and I haven't even played it, but like I turned it on for a little bit. I was like, wait, the graphics aren't really any different than what they were. Like, what the hell is going on? But like, my favorite games for it, of course, were Ocarina of Time, Majora's Mask, GoldenEye, Pokemon Stadium was okay. But they already have Majora's Mask. They already have Pokemon Snap on there, which like I don't play Pokemon Snap regardless.
I'm pretty sure they only added that because of the sequel that came out.
Yeah. I mean, like I'm sure people wanted it. Like I played it once, I think. I never played
I don't get the concept of it. Like
the
concept I get, but I don't get the pull towards the concept. But then again, I play really niche shit too. So I'm sure there's a ton of people that enjoy that kind of stuff.
Yeah, I mean, like I get why people like it. It's just not for me, right? Like when
Right.
when edited to like Ultra Sun and Moon, kind of like, oh, you can take pictures of Pokemon. I'm like, why? And then they force you to do it, and I'm like, why? Like it's just no. So like I never got like the graphics look beautiful. Get me wrong, the graphics look beautiful for the new Pokemon Snap. They look better than any of the Pokemon games we've had so far. But that's not going to cause me, even though the graphics look great, it's not going to cause me to go get the game because I don't really like. Maybe if I got bored one time and I actually had money and I was really bored, maybe I would think about getting the new Snap. But that's going to take a long time, and I really just I don't see it for it. But as of right now, on the N64, as I have it up right now, they have Banjo Kazooie, they have F-Zero X, they have Winback, they got Wave Race, some game I can't see, Dr. Mario 64, Mario Tennis, Mario Golf, Paper Mario, Super Mario 64, Mario Kart 64, Kirby the Crystal whatever, Charge, Star Fox, Yoshi's Story, Zelda Majora's Mask, Zelda Ocarina of Time, Pokemon Puzzle League, and Pokemon Snap. I mean,
and then they announced that they're adding, GoldenEye, the Mario Party games, Pilot Wings, Excite Bike, 1080 snowboarding, all games that I enjoyed. I mean, personally,
I haven't added yet is Donkey Kong 64, which was probably
a good one.
My favorite games for the 64.
That would be a good one to add. That's probably the only one I can think of that I would like to play that they haven't added, because
I have it on the N64 and I have it for the Wii U on the N64 port on the Wii U. I bought it. I think I played it a little bit, but the one game that I haven't beat. I almost beat it. I got to the very end, but you have to be able to beat, I think, the original Donkey Kong in it to get a key, which I never beat the original Donkey Kong, so I never got that key. So I got to the very end and didn't get the key for it, and then I said, "Fuck it, I'm not going all the way back." So, but it's something that I've always wondered. Like, I love playing the game. I like the different characters. I like the rap. I like,
everybody loves the DK rap.
DK rap. But I think they have almost every other game at this point, or planned every other game that I know of really for the N64. For it to really, Super Smash Brothers probably would be the only other game. The original Super Smash. I mean, but
because really the only stuff I can think of is stuff that's never going to get added, like Conker's Bad Fur Day or Perfect Dark. Switch is not going to add M-rated games to that. But yeah, pretty much everything else that we named is stuff that I would play. Because most of the other stuff I played was like licensed sports games, and those have come a whole different direction. And I'm not going to play a sports game from 1999 with shitty graphics, even though
baseball, baby,
probably better than half the games that are out nowadays anyway. I would much rather play like Madden 04 than Madden 23. So, this is probably more for you, just because you've got more experience with it. What are your worst 3 Zelda games of all time?
That's an interesting question, because I think I never really got into the ones like I own. Let's see. I think I own almost every Zelda game now. Like the ones for the SNES and the NES, I have on the virtual consoles.
Right.
And I'm not a big fan of Zelda 2 because it's a scrolling game, and I that's why I like with Mario. I'm not a huge I played Mario games.
Like you don't like 2D platformers.
Yeah, like I always screw up on the Mario games whenever they're going. So like I'm not a huge fan of that design of keep on going. It's the same as Sonic, but somehow I was okay with Sonic. I don't know why. And that was the only game that like I was just like, yeah, I'm actually okay with it. Like 'cause Sonic 2 was exactly that, but I love Sonic 2. I don't know why. But then it comes down to I think the DS games. While the interesting stories, I never could get to it because I don't like using the stylus that much. And so both games for the DS require you in the puzzles and stuff like that to use the stylus. So
would you count Triforce Heroes as a Zelda game? Because I didn't like that one at all.
I didn't have a problem with Triforce Heroes, though. You in order for you to really do anything, you need 3 people to really do stuff. And since we never really always had the time, like I think Derek, myself, and Kyle did it for a little while because we all lived together, so it was easy to kind of pair up. But we definitely didn't even beat a level, I don't think. So I haven't gotten that far.
Yeah, because you'd be trying to tell people, Kyle, go this way, Derek, go this way.
Yeah, be like, go this way, go this way. We'd be sitting right next to each other and we still couldn't get it right. But I mean, I didn't have a problem with the game itself specifically, other than the fact that like you needed people to kind of really do it. I haven't tried to play it again, like because A, I don't have anybody to play with, but B, even if I tried to do it by myself, I just never like. To be fair, right? I love Zelda so much, but there's really only 3 games that I beat and actually beat. Like I still have never beaten Breath of the Wild, and people do not understand. Like I know how to beat Breath of the Wild, I just haven't beaten Breath of the Wild because usually I get to the point where I want to collect all the Korok seeds, and I get like 700 collected, and then I get bored with the game, and then by the time I pick up the game, like if I ever stream it, I'm gonna be playing a new version of the game because I forgot where I was or what I was doing with the game and so much. So I never beat the game, but I know how to beat the game. I just never beat the game. So the only 3 games, and 2 of them are basically the same game. The only games that I've ever beaten for Zelda is, of course, Ocarina of Time. It's my favorite game of all time. Whatever. I've beaten that game a couple times. Ironically, not as much as you would think that I beat it. Like I've beaten Pokemon games more because they're easier to beat. But like I beat it like 3 times for Ocarina of Time. The only other 2 games are the Game Boy Color games, which is Oracle of Ages and Oracle of Seasons, and they're similar stories. They play a little differently. I beat both of those games, but then I never because what you would do is after you beat one, you're supposed to link yourself into the next game, and I never did that. So, because it gives you the ability, because you never get to save Zelda until you link yourself over to the next game, and then apparently you can save Zelda in that game or whatever. But I never did that. But I beat those games. So, and those are probably like if I want to remaster or something, get them off the Game Boy, make them remastered. Oracle, Oracle of Ages and Oracle of Seasons were 2 of my favorite Zelda games. Like I love Ocarina of Time, but those 2 would probably be my second and third. Well, technically, I guess second. I put them both together because they're basically the same game. They would either be my second or third in the series up there. Then Breath of the Wild. Breath of the Wild might be better. I don't know. Like I understand why people love it better, but I think because I haven't beaten the game, I don't have the same love for the game yet or anything like that. And then of course. Twilight Princess I've never beaten. I've gotten pretty far. It's the same thing. I think most Zelda games are like, I get really interested in them. I play them for a long time. I don't beat them. And then if I go back to try to beat them, like I just restart. And then I never finish the game. So it's a constant like...
Well, that's also the thing is the games, even though a lot of are similar in gameplay, there's always just enough of a switch that if you go too long without playing, you go back and your muscle memory wants to remember a different Zelda game. So then you're like, I'm trying to remember how to do this, but the buttons aren't working right. Oh yeah, that's in this game, not this game. Shit. Well, I might as well just start over.
Tried to fuck me over, like in every possible way. I love the story for Skyward Sword. Like I think that's one of my favorite stories behind Ocarina. But the gameplay, just the having to like, and the new gameplay on the Switch is not really that much helpful because you have to like kind of aim the Joy-Con the way you want to slice or whatever, and it's not the best there. So, and I hated the Wii controller. So that instantly like, well, I love the story of Skyward Sword. And I love the stories overall of Zelda. I think that's what makes me really like the games, even though I haven't beaten a lot of the games. I like the lore behind it. I like reading about it. I like seeing some of the actions. I watch YouTubers beat them and stuff like that. So I know how to beat the games. I just don't. It's probably me thing. Maybe one day I'll stream enough of Breath of the Wild to actually beat it. Or like I tried Skyward Sword for a little bit. I don't remember how far we got.
We're gonna have you stream a game. You're gonna play through the whole thing. You're gonna get to Ganon, and then you're like, "All right, I'm done." What? What? You're not gonna fight? No, I'm done.
I'm good.
All right. Well, let's go ahead and move on. This one is an F Marry Kill question. Your three options are ScarJo as Black Widow, Marissa Tomei as Aunt May, or Florence Pugh as Black Widow's sister.
Oh,
that's a tough one.
That's a very tough one. I gotta say I'd marry ScarJo. I think I gotta marry ScarJo. She's already dead, so I might as well just say fuck Florence Pugh and kill Aunt May because
well, I mean, technically ScarJo's dead too, so
she is. But I have an alternate reality somewhere.
So you're marrying a corpse and killing a corpse, and then banging the only one that's still alive.
The thing is like I could probably see them bringing Black Widow back as like an alternate reality. But if you look at all the other alternate reality Aunt Mays are all old, so
they're not hot like Marissa Tomei.
That was the only Aunt May.
So that makes you double down on wanting to kill her instead of being the one that you keep.
Look, I can't get rid of ScarJo though. I can't.
And no, I do agree with that. ScarJo has to be one of the first two.
It would have been actually the question, because if they wanted to go for all three, they should have put Natalie Portman instead of Florence Pugh, because she dies. So
that's true. I didn't think about that, but I would have killed Natalie Portman in that case.
You would have killed Natalie Portman?
I would kill Natalie Portman. I would bang. No, I would probably bang ScarJo and marry Aunt May, because Aunt May seems like she probably knows how to cook and clean and do all sorts of stuff to take care of you. So I need me a good girl like that.
I don't know, because if we add Natalie Portman to it, I think not us, but I do remember there was a movie, and I never watched that movie, but there was a movie with both Natalie Portman and ScarJo in it. And if you knew me back then, I would actually probably pick Natalie Portman over ScarJo. So,
see, the only reason why I can't put, and I'm not saying Natalie Portman's ugly or anything, I think she is hot, but the only reason I can't see her as one of my first two in any of these is because there was one time, you know how on Facebook they'll have those different tests and stuff you can take and everything.
Okay.
I clicked on one. It was like, which Hollywood celebrity do you look like? And it said that I look like Natalie Portman.
So you basically don't want to bang yourself.
I was like, I don't want to bang myself. I'm good. So yeah, that's that. But yeah, interesting selection. A lot of pretty good questions here. I'm surprised we didn't have more Piplup hate. So you're welcome, Ian.
Hey, you know what? They're getting smarter. So
that's pretty much going to do it for us tonight. Like I said, we're going to talk games, but I kind of did all that.
I still have our own, like, I could probably do our own, like, Pokemon podcast at some point.
Well, yeah, we'll definitely want to do that.
Because Pokemon is a huge thing right now, especially since it's like one of the only games coming out for this year, and there's a lot of information and a lot of things going on that I could probably make a podcast for. Zelda, there's still no information about Zelda, so I can't really
do much about that until there's more information.
It'd be nice if they added more information to Zelda, but but those are the two games that I'm looking forward to. Unfortunately, there's not a lot of information for the one. The other one we're going to get in 60 days, I think, or something like that. Something close to around that.
Let's see. I just saw a thing.
I mean, I did post it how many days ago? I don't remember.
Don't remember.
Let's see. I posted on 4 days ago, 66. So there's 62 days left. And there's 237 days left to Tears of the Kingdom.
Tears of the Kingdom.
Tears
let
that I don't.
Let me just pull this up real quick. Because I want to see if there's anything besides that stuff that's coming out. Even if it's just like a generally big name game, because I don't remember seeing a whole lot. Let's see. We are in September. NBA 2K23 is the most recent release, which I heard was getting bad reviews, not because the gameplay was bad, but because 2K and EA have gotten so damn greedy with microtransactions that it like ruins a lot of the game modes. I've got my Monkey Island game coming out Monday, but that's a very niche game.
I've never even heard of it until you put it on there. So
yeah, let's see. Life is Strange is getting remastered for the millionth time at the end of the month. Sam & Max is getting remastered for PS4. Wait, why are they remastering it for PS4? It's weird because that game's like,
so it could be outdated already.
Well, yeah, well, the game itself is already like 15 years old because I'm pretty sure I was either in high school or just started college when that came out. Whatever. I like the game, but the last time they did a remaster was for the Switch, and it sucked because they changed a couple of the voice actors and they weren't nearly as good as the original. And it was bad enough you could tell that they switched. And it's like, look, if you're going to change voice actors, at least get somebody who's got a similar voice. No Man's Sky for the Switch on October. Oh boy. That game will probably break.
I don't know why anybody would get it on. Like, I still don't even play. I don't even know if I think I still have it. I don't even know.
I know the original version has greatly improved since release with a bunch of patches and stuff. But the problem is I don't see a game like that working on Switch, even if it was good to begin with.
That is true. No, I don't have that game anymore. So I guess, well, unless I have it down here. Let's see, because I don't even know what the hell I have. Fallout, which I haven't played in forever. Batman, Avengers, superhero stuff. Yeah, so I don't own No Man's Sky anymore. I know I played it for a little bit on the first week it came out. That was back when I lived in Cockeysville, and then then there was nothing to do, and I got rid of it. I heard that they made good on it, but I just haven't. Oh, I got rid of it, and then I have no. It's the same with the DC game that was open world or whatever, but it was weird and at first the way that they had portrayed it was that it looked like you would be fighting with Superman, Batman, and everything like that. And you kind of do, but you kind of don't. So that game kind of sucked, and then they made it free to play. So I paid $63 for a game that eventually was free to play and no one liked. So that was a terrible decision too. So I don't know. I can stay. That's the one thing about Zelda and Pokemon. No matter how much I'm pretty sure that I will like the game enough to consider what I spent was worth it.
Right.
Even
the amount of time you put into those games.
I am planning. The biggest thing with Twitch right now is that I would do my Dex completion for Twitch, but I don't have a 3DS capture card, and a lot of the game. So what I want to do is catch Pokemon from the region they're supposed to be from. So any Pokemon from Kanto will be from Kanto. Now I'll be doing Let's Go Pikachu and Eevee for them. So that one I can do on stream. But then Johto, the only game I can do that's easy to go through is Gold, Silver, and Crystal from the ports on the 3DS, because you can just instantly move them to bank and then move bank to home. So I can't stream them because I don't have a way to currently stream my. I'm not paying $600 for a 3DS that has a capture card on it, as much as I would love to. If we made a lot of money, okay, I could rationalize, because I would play 3DS games like crazy if I had a capture card on it. So I could rationalize doing it, but I don't really have $600 right now to spend to do so. So that is so that alienates a lot of my games, the Johto games, the Hoenn games, which I use Omega Ruby Alpha Sapphire for. I can use Brilliant Diamond Shining Pearl for the Sinnoh games. The Black and White and Black and White 2 games, I had to use the DS. The X and Y games, I had to use the DS. The Ultra Sun and Moon and Sun and Moon, I had to use on the DS. And then Galar, I can just use. So really, I only have 3 generations I can use: Gen 1, Gen 4, and Gen 8. And technically Gen 9, but I already caught all the Gen 9 because there's only 5 Pokemon you can catch with the Dex or whatever. So I already have that. So really, when I go through, because I want to be able to, when I'm looking at the Pokemon I have now, I'll say that like from Sword and Shield. But the thing is, I want to see each Pokemon from the region they're supposed to be. So when I look at a Pokemon, it'll say it's from the Unova region, which would be cool. But my friend said, you maybe want to save Unova for last. So by that point, the remakes for Unova will come out for the Switch. I was like, that's a possibility. Though Johto also has a potential of getting a Let's Go game probably next year after this, because they're gonna have to take a break unless they just do straight DLC for Scarlet and Violet like they did. But I could foresee them just doing a Let's Go Johto and being like, Let's Go Pikachu and Eevee was successful. Let's do a Let's Go Johto, and then let's do a Chibi style Gen 5 game, then put out Legends Kyurem or something like that for Gen 5. But then also people were like saying Legends Celebi for Gen 2. So who knows what the hell they're doing.
They should do for Johto, they should do Let's Go Cyndaquil and Let's Go Totodile.
Make Annie so mad. Oh.
You're like, well, wait, what about what third one? What are you talking about?
There is no third one. There was no other option ever. I would do a fucking Let's Go Shuckle.
They should do that, and then they should have Shuckle actually have voice lines voiced by the guy who does the Dorkly bits.
Shuckle.
Shuckle.
All right. And then like Shuckle and Smeargle. That would be the 2 Gen 2 Pokemon.
Anyway, back to the list here. Gotham Knights comes out October 21st. I did forget about that.
I did, because I can't play it because I need a PlayStation 5 because they're not coming out with it.
Basically, what you're saying is if I end up getting it, you're gonna just show up and start playing it.
You could bring the PS5 down here,
Maybe. It's a lot of effort.
And then just leave it here for a while.
Let's see. God of War is November 9th, so that's my next big one. Goat Simulator 3.
Goat Simulator 3.
Pokemon Scarby is on the 18th of November. Then we move into December.
See, I think what I'm going to do for Scarlet and Violet, because I've been talking, because we're going to that Taylor Tomlinson concert, I have to take my time off for that. So I'm not going to be able to take my time off for Scarlet and Violet. But what I was thinking about doing is I got an Australian account. I am going to buy the game on my Australian account. And on Thursday that night, I might stream Thursday night, the beginning of my Violet campaign. And then what I would do is Friday I work, but then according to my boss currently, I still have weekends off during peak season, which this would be right at the heart of peak. So I should be able to have Saturday and Sunday to stream. And then you and I will connect for that, because by then you'll have the game. And that way you and I can probably, and if we can convince Annie enough to, play and get online, that would be another thing. And then I'd make Brian come over and play.
Brian, driver has 3 hours to play on the second Switch.
Yep. But that, I really, I am really excited for the biggest thing about the new games is the co-play with everybody. Like I think that's just gonna like it'll be interesting to see what we do. Like, can you fight gym leaders together or what? Like or what? I don't understand. Is the other people in the crowd just getting like go?
All right. Well, I don't have anything else. We'll probably do another one of these in a week or two. Maybe talk about games. Maybe talk about Pokemon. Maybe talk about something. See if
Football. Still got football.
We could do football.
I mean, we can do a little bit of everything. The biggest thing I would say is send in your questions. If you want to send in questions about Torchic, you totally can, because that is Colby's favorite Pokemon.
Yeah, but people won't be as mean about Torchic because they know I don't care as much as when they insult people up.
They can insult Chikorita just for Annie.
It was like the next time we know we're gonna have Annie on the show, which is probably never, but if we ever actually talk her to being on the show, please send in those Chikorita questions.
Send in all those walking turnip questions.
This question is from Ian.
But it is, we could probably do a more focused Pokemon one. So what I would say for everybody, and then like we can talk about like different Pokemon stuff, like not just the Pokemon game coming out, but like obviously Pokemon Go, other Pokemon stuff. And then you guys can send in your questions like about community days, I guess, or what our predictions for community days will be like. I did guess Rock and Rolla as one of the options for this community day, and I was so happy when I was right about it, or one of the right. Like I can't say I predicted 100%, but that was like one of the 5 options that I said should happen.
Which, as of this recording, is tomorrow afternoon. So, looking forward to that.
Oh, I love Gigalith Shiny. I mean, Rock and Roller Shiny is pretty cool too. And I don't remember Boulder Shiny, but I'll see it tomorrow because I haven't caught one yet.
I'm pretty sure I have 2 already.
Yeah.
But it would be nice to have, obviously, the family, but also really want a good one. So there's Boulder, by the way.
Oh, it's Gigalith is Shiny, basically.
Basically, yeah.
Also, if you are listening to this podcast in time, starting September 18th, which is tomorrow, and going to October 1st at your local GameStop, or somehow you're listening to us somewhere in Australia or I don't remember, New Zealand, I think it's EB Games.
EB Games internationally, GameStop in the US.
GameStop for the US. Shiny Eternatus for Sword and Shield are being handed out. Now, my GameStops tend to always lose the cards, so I need to find it. I go to now I have to figure out there's 4 GameStops around me, so I got to figure out which one to go to. I might even visit all of them so I can try to get as many cards as I can get, so I can get the Shiny Eternatus for whatever.
I'll have to see what the expiration date is on the card, because usually they give you 3 months to redeem it. But if it's only a couple weeks, I may have to have you redeem it for me, because I don't know if I'll be down there before it expires.
That is true. And we'll figure that out, how we do it or whatever. You still have the game on your Switch, right? You just don't have the physical cartridge to put it on.
Right. Yeah.
That would be the easiest
because I was like, well, maybe I'll just buy it, but then the fucking Switch store, it's still full price, and I'm like, I'm not paying full price for a 3-year-old game. I'd go to GameStop and just get it for $20 if I was that desperate. So, but I already sold it to GameStop. It's probably the same copy I sold them.
You just get it back, you look at it, you're like, wait, okay.
Can I buy my game back?
That's how I'll never probably sell the Pokemon games, because I always feel like I'm always gonna want to play them at some point, even if I haven't played them in a while. I always and there's always something going on with them, I guess, to make sure that I
actually do have some games I need to sell. Maybe I will take those to GameStop tomorrow, get my $2 in credit, and then see.
Buy Pokemon Sword.
Yeah, I need to buy this game. Didn't you sell this game to us? Yeah, I forgot to do something. By the way, do you happen to have Eternatus cards?
Those Eternatus cards that I need with the game.
Um, but yeah, that's Community Day tomorrow is big. Right now, I believe there's a steel event of some sort going on because they've introduced Mega Aggron and there's a bunch of steel types spawning. So have not gotten, well, no, that's a lie. I got a shiny Shroomish, which is not a steel type, but yeah, it's cool because I did need that. I think Brian got a shiny Aggron.
I do need shiny Aarons. I just am lazy and don't care enough.
Somebody in the chat, was it? I think it was Sharik. Got a shiny I really wanted, and I'm trying to remember who. Yeah, what is that? One of the
Kyle. Kyle Jacob.
Let me look and see because it should still be in here. Oh, yeah, shiny Pharaoh Seed.
Oh, those are beautiful.
Yeah. And oh yeah, Brian also got a shiny Spearow.
That sounds like Brian.
And someone, I don't remember who, hatched a shiny Tyrogue.
Oh, that's a good shiny too. That's the only line of the only one of the line now that I don't have. Right. I have Hitmon top, I have Hitmonchan, I have Hitmonlee. Call it extras. So that's I was
gonna say you have like 80 of each.
I just need Tyrogue. I just don't have good luck on Sword and Shield. Apparently, a lot of people have really good luck on Sword and Shield, and I just don't have that luck on Sword and Shield.
You're the reverse. You have all your luck on Arceus.
Oh, Arceus is like my luck is just ridiculous. Like I played it for a little while 2 days ago for the first time in like months, and I caught a shiny unknown and a shiny. I could potentially get the whole 26 shiny unknowns on there because I got unknown Y. And then I also got a shiny Growlithe, which I needed the Arcanine for because I only caught one shiny Growlithe before then, Hisuian Growlithe. So I got a Hisuian Arcanine now. So I got the family for that. And then I got a shiny Stantler as well. So yeah, my luck in Arceus is really well. I have two different versions. I have the version where I beat the game. And that's the one where I'm getting most of my shinies for. But then I have my second copy where I'm trying to complete the dex 100%. And that's hard to do. Like you have to watch Magikarp splash 100 times. All right. Like that's, which I think did about 70 of them during, because I just had Magikarp fight Magikarp and it was just splash. But yeah, like I think that's my biggest thing is I want to complete the dex, but it's just so boring for some of the things. Like Agile move 70 times. Like what the hell would I want to do that? But I do want to complete it. Like I feel like that's the ultimate completionist goal. It's just going to take a while. But yeah, complete all 242 Pokemon. And so that's what I'm going to work on a little bit. I'm going to work on my dexes and stuff like that. If I stream any of them, I'm trying to think what I would stream because like I might stream our Breath of the Wild, but if I were to stream a Pokemon game, like the reason for it, like Nuzlocke are fine and dandy, but and I might do a Nuzlocke stream eventually soon.
I need to try another one of those now that I have a better computer that I can do a randomizer on.
Yeah, you can do like one of the randomizers better than whereas mine will probably freeze my computer. But I just need to figure out what I want to do with that eventually. But I'm still going to plan on doing a Nuzlocke probably at some point in life just to, I don't know, just to do it. I still haven't beaten the Nuzlocke. That's probably the thing is like, if I want to beat the Nuzlocke, I do need to actually beat a Nuzlocke. I think the hardest one is going to be Brilliant Diamond Shining Pearl. So I think I'm going to probably have to do Sword and Shield if I want to try to actually win.
Which you've gotten a little further each time we've done Sword and Shield. I think, didn't you get to the 4th or 5th gym?
Yeah, every time I do it, I get better, which is I guess a good thing. I think the furthest I got was to the 8th, not the 8th gym, the 6th gym. I haven't gotten to the dark gym yet, which is the 7th gym. So I got to the 6th gym. I lost to the, I think when I was playing it, it was probably the rock type. So it was probably sword that I was doing. Because that's either ice type or rock type. depending on the version of the game you play. And I think I lost in the in that gym, but yeah, every time I do it, I think I get a little bit further. So that's something like it also depends on the Pokemon you get, obviously, and stuff like that. So hopefully I can do one of them, but I don't know when, because I have a lot of things I want to do, and then when I think instead of sit around and do them and think about it, I don't get anything done, and that's the problem. I think that is my problem, is that I honestly would be like, hey, I need to do this, and then I think about it, and then it's 3 hours later, and I still haven't done it.
Never mind.
Guess I'm not doing it. But right now, just playing Large's Arceus, I'm going around trying to collect all the damn magic cards right now for this goddamn Dex. And then I had to see it splash another 20 sometimes. But yeah. I mean, it's been a crazy year. I think we need to figure. I think hopefully we'll get a decent amount of views for Scarlet and Violet.
Well, especially playing it when it first comes out.
Yeah. And then hopefully God of War should get you a pretty decent. I feel like that's a game that everybody wants to watch.
Yeah.
Like, I don't play it, but I mean, it's not a bad game to watch. Like, I'll usually probably just tune it in the background.
Listen, boy.
But like I don't have any like specific, like I guess I just don't play it that much. Like, I tried Tomb Raider, which is basically the same thing, and I still don't really play that.
Well, we've seen you try Uncharted too.
Hey, Uncharted is amazing. I just
I really wish you had not deleted that original video. That was one of the greatest videos of all time.
That was not one of the greatest videos of all time.
Ian sucking at video games.
I mean, it was bad. It was bad quality, though.
It doesn't matter if the quality was bad. It was amazing content.
It was not.
The fact that I still like the one time where you climbed up like the stair and then the next thing and then the next thing, and then you fall off and it goes into a QTE and you didn't even realize it. You just get smashed by this box, and it was like you were dead. I was like, Ian, all you had to do is hit the button. What are you doing? What button? Don't anybody tell me this.
What were you talking about? Yeah, no, oh, it is what it is,
Anyway, yeah, we'll cover some stuff, future podcast, Pokemon, sports, etc.
Also, if you guys have anything that you guys want us to try to cover, if we are, if we know it well enough, we'll try. Just leave the comments on our Facebook page. Say, hey, you guys thought about this topic? And chances are we probably haven't. So, but yeah, just let us know. We can try to see if we can do some topics that we would never generally do, because we're us.
Yeah, let us know. We definitely want to try to get as much feedback as possible. We want to try to hopefully have some guests on with us, so it's not just you and I talking every single time. Try to mix things up. But that's also going to depend on people's schedules and want to do those things. So we'll definitely look into it. But yeah, that's pretty much it as far as tonight's show, or whenever you're listening to this. We'll be back for another episode. Just keep checking on the Facebook page. I'll keep updates on there as far as what we may be discussing. And then, of course, catch us on all of the socials: Twitch, YouTube, TikTok, Instagram, Facebook, Twitter, all that good stuff. And check out the merch store, KolbyandIan.com. And we will let you guys know what it was up. Twitch stream wise, I just twitched Judgment earlier today, which is one of the mainline spinoffs of the Yakuza series, which is a fun game, but I started playing it and then I realized I just wasn't really in the mood to stream, so I played for like an hour. And I kept having issues with my software, and I was like, all right, I'm just going to end it here. So I may go back to that. That might be the new weekly Friday game, since it's technically part of the Yakuza series, even though it's not a Yakuza game.
Yakuza!
And maybe use that to hold over until God of War comes out, and then eventually the Pokemon games. So keep it on Facebook. We'll keep it updated on all that stuff and the future podcast episodes. Please feel free to comment. Let us know if there's anything that sounds good.
Check out our
also,
YouTube. I think we have something up on YouTube.
Yes, I added the stream from last night. I added to YouTube over our gaming talk, so you can check that out on YouTube. It is probably going to be in the podcast feed as well as a bonus episode. If you don't feel like watching, you just want to listen to what we talked about. Audio quality wasn't great last night. I didn't notice it during the stream, but when I watched it back, I noticed there was a little bit of static, and I'm about 99% sure that's probably because of my fan and my window unit. So I'll know to adjust that next time. But yeah, you can still hear pretty well and listen to me. And well, it's basically me talking to myself as I get chat responses from Ian and Annie and Brian and respond to them. So, but yeah, check that out. Check us out on all the other stuff. We'll keep you updated when we are coming up with new things. And we do thank everyone who has supported us. And we will catch you later. As always, take care and have a good whatever.